Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the April meeting for the LDC. These months are flying by. Thank you for everyone that's come to join us tonight. We have an agenda that everyone should have received. So without further ado, I am going to turn it over to the beautiful Miss Barbara Street, Miss Barbara Holt Streeter. She doesn't have a camera, but we all know what she looks like.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Lattimore. I do apologize again for the technical challenge that we're having with the camera, but it's always an honor to be among you today. Thank you for your leadership, Dr. Lattimore, and thank you for the council who is here tonight and the ones who are in the community. We appreciate your support.
Yes,
And
we do.
on behalf of County Executive Angela Also Brooks, I do want to share. Oh, this is not my time to do that. Okay, so
Yes,
again,
it is. It's your time. Is it? Oh, yeah, when you get your time. Okay,
yes,
got you.
I do apologize. So I will turn the agenda and floor back to you, Dr. Lattimore.
Okay, so Delegate Turner, as you know, elected officials get an opportunity to brief us at every meeting. So it is your turn to provide us with what's going on.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm sorry for the mix-up. Y'all must gotta love Delicate Turner because I'm always confused. Okay, but you know what? I got one of the best delegates that helps me right away. Delegate Woods, thank you so much. I appreciate you keeping me straight. And I'm just so happy. I've been waiting all day to get on this call. I ain't been nowhere. That's why I started at 6:45. So I said, I'm going to do this time. Uh, and I'm still wrong. I'm sorry.
It's
But
okay.
it's not going to happen the third time. Okay. So, anyway, well, hello, everybody. Good evening. And I'm a little late, but I'm just wanted to just bring greetings from Annapolis. Okay, and I want y'all to know we Annapolis was very tough this time around. And if I begin to tell you everything that went on, it would hurt your heart. But I just want to let you know we made it. We got through Saturday on Monday, on April the 8th. And it was rough. We finally we balanced the budget, so we didn't have to, after all, the governor put in a notice that if we did not balance this budget, we will be still in Annapolis as of today. I just want to let y'all know. But I'm so glad that we got it done. And so, I'm not going to be trying to take up most of your time. I was going through most of all the bills that I voted on today. I mean, this time around. And I just wanted just to let you know of a couple of things, especially my bond bills. And that was main thing that I was so happy because they claimed that we didn't have any money. And after we had the big problem for the bridge collapsing, we had to go back and regroup on our budget. And we had to go into our rainy day fund, and that wasn't a good thing. And we had to move money from the transportation fund to try to help all of the people for that bridge. It was so many jobs. I want you to know it came through my committee, Economic Matters, and y'all know that I am on that committee. And so it took about 3 days for us between the governor and the from our chief of staff to do everything, especially from our president even helping us. And that was a good thing. I really appreciate him coming through. But it's going to take not millions of dollars, it's going to take billions of dollars to get things straight. We had the unions in there because it was so many people that lost jobs, and we made sure it was money in the budget for them to go back and help the families of the people who died in that crash. And then we helping the people all around the business around the bridge, and then helping the bridge. It was very sad. I want y'all to know, but we got that job done. And so I was very happy about that. I, for one, got just a couple of bond bills done. Um, um, one that I'm very sad that I really didn't get money, but we moved a little money around, especially on that Rock Christian Ministry. I put in for over $100,000 for them, and they did not give it to me. So we moved some money from the Camp Springs Elk Club on Temple Hills. We moved 50,000 from them, and we're going to make sure that they get some money to keep the doors open to that church. I want y'all to know. The I Grow Therapeutic Greenhouse Garden bill got $12,500. They first, the senators got most of the bond money, and the House did not get as many bond bill money. I don't know why it happened that way. I went back and I tried to ask why on several bond initiatives that I did not get. Now, I know that Delegate Woods and Chris Valderrama got a couple of bond bills that I voted for them, but they put it in, and she will tell you about some of those bills for bond bills. We still did a lot of things that on the Family Serve Act, and it's still in the senator's backyard. A lot of bills got to the governors, especially the bridge bill got to the governor's desk. And that was one big bill for it to pass. To get that money that we use in the rainy day fund to do that. I want you to know that I voted on a lot of bills, and I'm sending you, I don't know if y'all received it or not. I'm having John send y'all my after session letters of all up. So you see, ain't no sense in me trying to tell you everything tonight. So, but I'm sending you a copy. And he's supposed to be calling. Let's see, who is that? Is that you, Letitia? Of all the people of our EDC. I needed. Did you send me a copy of all of the emails? Because he said he didn't get it.
Yes, ma'am, I did send it to you, but I will send it to you again and CC your chief of staff.
Okay, please do that, because I asked John. My end of session letter is out. It has all of the bills that I voted on, and it tells you an explanation what bill passed, what bill is that still got fars in the Senate and did not get out of the Senate, and y'all will see how busy that we were in this session, and you will see that I voted on a whole lot of bills. Good grief! I know it's about. I got three. I'm gonna try to put it on not all of these pages, but I got 5 pages of bills that I voted on, and I wanted y'all to see how busy Delegate Turner has been. Okay, and in all of my committees, and so I'm going to not try to talk y'all to death today. I'm going to be a good delegate today, Dr. Lattimore. You know, you're never supposed to give a politician the mic. And so I'm going to let my newest delegate give y'all a real go at it because she knows how to break them all down. But I'm going to have y'all all read all the things that I have done. And then you know that I have been a busy little delegate. Okay? Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right, well, thank you so much. So next up, we have the Judicial Proceedings Committee.
Oh,
Yes, hi. Good evening, everyone. My name is Tequila. I am here on behalf of Senator Muse. He couldn't be with us today, so I will try to do my best to share what he wanted me to share with you all. I just want to go over and give a brief overview of some of the things that were accomplished in the 446 legislative session on behalf of Senator Muse. Of course, we all know about the heartbreaking collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore. The General Assembly acted really quickly to support those impacted by the bridge collapse by crafting legislation to ensure those economically impacted would be supported until the port reopens. One of those is the Protecting Opportunities and Regional Trade Act, which was crafted to provide the Maryland Department of Labor and Commerce with the funding, tools, and flexibility needed to respond to the crisis. Although the collapse of the bridge was a big focus this session, the hard work really started in January, of course. So a lot of critical bills on a myriad of topics were passed, from improving our juvenile justice system to expanding accessibility of affordable housing and protecting consumers to passing a fiscal year 2025 budget that Delegate Turner talked about. Every decision Senator Muse made this year was through a lens of expanding opportunity for as many residents as possible. After a hard-fought 2024 legislative session, the senator looks forward to serving Maryland's 26th district back at home until the next legislative session kicks off in January 2025. As it relates to the budget, which is the most important, role that the senators and delegates play, they worked hard to bring back resources to invest in our state, county, and of course, the 26th legislative district. I'm just going to go over a few things that was passed in the budget. 14.4 billion in Medicaid funding, 9.1 billion for Maryland public pre-K to 12th grade schools, $100 million for the Federal Bureau of Investigation headquarters, which is going to be relocated in Prince George's County. 39.75 million for the Community College Construction Grant Program, 488 million in funding for the Child Care Scholarship Program. That's huge. And $257 million in new revenue to address the state's transportation needs until the Maryland Commission on Transportation Revenue and Infrastructure needs can complete its work this year. Now I'm just going to go over a couple of the local investments that impact our area, the 26th district. $10 million for the Adventist Healthcare Fort Washington Medical Center, $8.9 million for Bowie State University, $7.4 million for Charlotte Hall Veterans Home, $4 million for MedStar Southern Maryland Hospital, $3.1 million for Rosecroft Raceway Economic Revitalization, $200,000 for the Camp Springs Elks Lodge, $150,000 for the Mushroom Learning Center and Farm at Clinton, $100,000 for the Low Power Radio Education and Diversity Initiative, $125,000 for the Oxon Hill Recreation Swim Club, $125,000 for the Moyone Community Pool in Accokeek, and $4,500,000 for Educare Resource Center. Now, Senator Muse worked hard to address a number of issues, from rehabilitation funds for aging communities, reducing organized crime, and mental health to health and wellness. So I don't want to take up too much more time. I don't want to talk you guys to death, but I just wanted to go over two really important pieces of legislation that Senator Muse got through this year. He he sponsored over 20 pieces of legislation. I'm not going to read all of those off to you, so I'm just going to do two. The first one is the Senate Bill 151. That is the Prince George's County Work Group on Health and Wellness. This bill was regarding the health and wellness of citizens in our state and across the country. And the focus, in health has been on disease management. But what this bill does is try to focus on the lack of education and the limited options and resources that can contribute to disease. So therefore, SB 151 requires a work group to review, number one, the availability of health and wellness practices in our county. Number two, the available options for integrative health and wellness programs in our county. And number three, the programs that promote healthy eating and wellness within the county government agencies. And secondly, we have Senate Bill 1111, and that's the criminal organizations, criminal prohibitions, civil actions, and forfeiture. This bill was introduced during a critical time, of course, a time where we're seeing an increase in violence resulting from both structured and more loosely organized criminal enterprises within our state. These groups are commonly referred to as street crews, and typically consist of adults who recruit minors to participate in criminal activities. In Prince George's County and throughout the state, there has been specifically been notable increases in the number of crimes involving carjacking, theft, drug distribution, and economic crimes. And so this legislation provides a much needed enhancement to our current gang stature in Maryland. And so SB 1111 ultimately provides us with a unique opportunity to update the current code to better address these types of organized crime that we are confronted with in Maryland. Now, finally, during the 2024 Interim Center Muse welcomes, your ideas about potential legislation. So if anyone here on the call has anything that they would like to bring to our attention, we always ask that you would contact us. And if you would like a full copy of the legislative session report from Senator Muse, which lists everything, we're happy to email that. Or, you can call the office. I can provide that number in the chat and also provide the email. Also wanted to remind everyone that the senatorial scholarship deadline is quickly approaching. It's May 20th. So if you know anyone within the District 26 that, graduating or already in college, please send them our way. So we want to be able to give out all the money that we do receive. And again, thank you so much for letting me share some of the highlights on Senator's behalf for the 2024 legislative session. If you have any questions or you need anything else, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. That was a great report. Where is the Charlotte Veterans Home at?
The Charlotte Hall is what you're referring to.
Charlotte Hall?
Yes, Charlotte Hall. That's
Okay.
down off of Route 5. I'm going toward, I believe it's St. Mary's County.
Okay. Okay. And one more question, the FBI relocation. I'm just asking for myself. So has the protests on that been resolved? All outstanding issues? Because I know that there was an issue where the FBI questioned some of the source selection criteria. So has all that been resolved?
As far as I know, I'm not aware that there's anything else that would need to be resolved. I just
Okay.
know that in terms of the budget actually passed, the money
Okay.
to be able to provide. Now, any other things that they need
Okay.
to work out, I'm not aware of.
Yes,
Okay.
that's correct. There's nothing that's holding it back from actually coming to Prince George's County. So all of the concerns and questions and protests have been resolved as it relates
Okay.
to the assignment to Prince George's County.
Yeah, I worked there for 10 years and I just left there. And so I knew that they had filed a protest and I just wanted to know if that had been resolved. So they're really coming now. Okay. All right. That's great. And it's still going to Greenbelt? Everybody is going up and down, so that's good. I'm happy for them. I don't know if they're happy to be coming our way, but I'm happy for Prince George's County. Okay, thank you so much for all of that great information. And again, if we have guests on the line and you want to get a copy of Senator Muse's report or information from any of the delegates, please just write in the chat or give your information to Letitia, and she will make sure that you receive that information. So next up, we have Delegate Woods with the Health and Government Operations Committee. The floor is yours.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good evening again, everyone. As Delegate Turner so accurately reported, the 446th legislative session of the Maryland General Assembly was an extremely trying and busy session for each of us. I continue to serve on the Health and Government Operations Committee, HGO, and the subcommittees are Insurance and Pharmaceuticals and the Health Occupations and Long-Term Care subcommittees. This legislative session, I served as primary sponsor for 9 bills, 5 of which passed into law. These bills included HB 404, which Senator Muse did a cross-file on public safety welfare check requirements. It's called Gabriel's Law. It's actually named after my son. And it is a law that requires law enforcement, fire, rescue, or emergency medical services to conduct a wellness check without an unreasonable delay. As many of you are aware, I lost my son quite suddenly on September the 7th in 2021. And a part of the big challenge was that I made it very clear that my son was having a medical emergency. I started trying to reach him at 7:32 in the morning. They didn't knock his door down until 6:17 p.m. Unfortunately, he had a seizure, hit his head, and subsequently passed away. And so this bill says if someone calls you and they are a legitimate source and they're telling you there's a life-threatening emergency, that it has to be treated as such. Another bill that I was successful in passing is HB 1078, the Maryland Medical Assistance Program, remote ultrasound procedures and remote fetal non-stress tests. This provides for remote ultrasounds and remote fetal non-stress tests. Remote fetal non-stress tests are done when a belt is put around the expected mother's stomach, and the doctor can actually see every single thing that is going on with that child, as well as any concerns that could be going on with the mother. These can be done remotely and are extremely important. Number one, for people who are experiencing high-risk pregnancies, for people who are unable to get back and forth to the doctors. This can be done, and the blessing is that there is no additional cost. It's coded in the same way it's coded if you go to the doctor's office. And I'd love to answer questions about that to not have to go into great detail. The next bill that I was able to get passed was the HB 1105, Advanced Practice Registered Nurses Certification Requirement and Exceptions. As you know, a lot of professionals who are in school trying to get licensures or becoming nurses or doctors or social workers or attorneys, that they can actually practice in their field once they've completed the appropriate requirements. In Maryland, that was not the case for people who are in school for nursing. And so this bill allows for students to do the same thing as doctors do, as internists in hospitals, as social workers do, as lawyers do, under the appropriate supervision, that they can actually practice as nurses. The next bill that I was able to get passed is also a legislative priority for the Legislative Black Caucus of Maryland. It's HB 1293, the Maryland Department of Health Public Education Campaign on Prostate, Lung, and Breast Cancer Protection. Prostate, lung, and breast cancer are the 3 leading cancers in underserved communities in Maryland, and also have a large challenge in the state of Maryland. So we were able to get a bill passed that said we're going to put money into making sure people have information and are able to get access to those treatments, to get access to those services, to know what's out there, so that we can reduce the prostate, lung, and breast cancer challenges in the state of Maryland. Finally, the HB 1337, Health Insurance Appeals and Grievance Process Reporting Requirements. This was a bill that was necessary because, as many of you know, a huge challenge, not just in Maryland, but in many states, are when doctors prescribe for a patient to have a test done or to get a certain medication, and then the insurance companies deny it. And we're wondering, why is it being denied? The people have to go through the process. Sometimes it takes literally months. And then the insurance company turns around and approves it. My bill says, listen, if you disapproved it, and then it took 6 months to approve it, and it was a clean claim, i.e. the person put in all the information that was requested, there was no new information needed, that there is no excuse. that we had some people who had claims that they had to retry up to 7 times. As you know, sometimes a lot of times people's health declines, other times people die because you're simply waiting for an approval from an insurance company. This bill says, listen, you need to give us an explanation as to why you're denying insurance. And so this is a work group bill was passed into law. I co-sponsored a number of legislation, including pediatric cancer fund research, hospitals. HB 51 is pediatric cancer fund. HB 84 requires hospitals and urgent care centers to implement evidence-based protocols for sepsis recognition and treatment. You know, so many people go into the hospital and wind up with sepsis. We need to put an end to that. We need to find out what is the cause, what are the barriers, and try to alleviate that. HB 97, baby food manufacturers, believe it or not, y'all, a lot of baby foods have toxic heavy metals. As you all know, we see this huge increase in autism. I personally believe that it has to do with what's in some of this baby food, because we've seen record amount of children with autism. And then we learned that a lot of this baby food has toxic heavy metals. And so they now we're requiring in the state of Maryland, beginning January 1st, all baby food manufacturers have to test their food for toxic heavy metals. I also am a member of the Legislative Latino Caucus, and we passed the bill, which was a priority, HB 1230, Public Health Tianeptine Consumer Protection Act. This prohibits tianeptine from being sold and marketed in Maryland. Tianeptine, for those of you who don't know, is commonly referred to as the gas station heroin, because people can go and purchase it at gas stations and convenience stores, and it's an opioid-like addictive drug. And so it is a horrendous drug. And unfortunately, we've seen a huge increase in Maryland, particularly with young people. As I believe I heard said, and I apologize because someone stopped by. I believe that someone spoke on the budget. And so I hope I'm not repeating everything that was said, that we got $9.1 billion to go toward public schools. We got estimated $457.1 million to implement the blueprint for Maryland's future. We also, had funding that would help K3 and K4 pre-K children. Let's see. We also had funding that further incentivizes providers to start pre-K programs and to compensate pre-K providers, and that's really important. The budget also includes $330 million in revenue to support transportation, to our transportation system in Maryland. As you know, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. I heard Delegate Turner talk about that there was a bill put in place to address the Francis Scott Key Bridge, and so that was wonderful. As a member of the Women's Caucus, we did get the bill affirming SJ1, affirming the Federal Equal Rights Amendment. As a member of the Legislative Black Caucus of Maryland, I talked about the prostate, breast, and lung cancer bill. I continue to serve as the Executive Secretary of the Legislative Black Caucus of Maryland. I also continue to serve as one of the 4 state directors for women in government for all states. In Prince George's County, our delegation was able to get some wonderful bills passed. The stop sign monitoring system, HB 364, as well as HB 838, which is the County Family Child Care Home Expansion Grant Program, which helps to increase the number of registered family child care providers and child homes in low-income communities. As you know, child care is a huge challenge for a lot of people in the state. And so in Prince George's County, we're really happy to get that incentive to get more family home care. Another priority, which for me was important, is HB 1037, which is the task force on the creation of a division of returning citizens and expanded reentry services establishment. That's going to be extremely huge, because we're trying to make sure that when people are released from prison, that they have the resources that they need to be able to be viable community members. A lot of people come back into the community and they don't have what they need. They can't get their ID. They don't have housing. They don't have transportation. And so, they've paid their dues to society, And we want to make sure that we have reentry services so that they can have a productive life. Let's see. We also, another important bill was HB 538, which the Land Use Affordable Housing Zoning Zoning Density and Permitting, which is the Housing Expansion and Affordability Act of 2024, which will help to improve affordability for new housing so that more than half of Maryland renters who spend more than 30% of their income on housing have more affordable housing situations. And also with a focus on transit-oriented development. As far as this 26th district, we have the 26th district night. We are planning to have one. We will give you more information in the near future. We also have the 26th district dialogue series. Our first event is going to be held on April the 27th at the Accokeek Library from 2 to 4 p.m. Our next event, we do them about every 3 months, will be at Surratt Clinton Library, which you all know will be opening up shortly on September the 27th. And then we have 2 events at the Oxon Hill Library on October the 19th. And then the last one right before session starts again next year on January the 4th. I too want to encourage anyone who is interested in our legislative scholarship. My date is a little later. You have until July the 1st. We'll make sure you have that information. And then one last thing that I wanted to tell you that I actually just learned today was approved is that the Board of Public Works has approved the Department of Natural Resources to commit $300,000 from the local parks and playgrounds infrastructure funding for new ages 2 to 5 and 5 to 12 playgrounds with safety surfacing at the Hillcrest Heights Community Center also in our district. I want to also encourage you, as Ms. Taylor did, to please reach out to us. If there's any way that we can be of assistance to you, please reach out to us. We need you to come to these meetings. The district dialogue series, contact our offices. If there are concerns that you have, if there's legislation you would like for us to propose, it is extremely important that you come to us with those concerns. But not only that, we need you to come to Annapolis. We need you to testify. We need you to provide written correspondence as it relates to your concerns and the bills that are being proposed. You know, whether you support or don't support them, it's extremely important. We are here for you, okay?
Wow. Thank you so much for that report. I felt like I just watched the news, but that's a lot. That is a lot. And I want to thank you, Delegate Turner, Delegate Woods, and on behalf of Senator Muse, Ms. Taylor, thank you for bringing all of this information to us. I'm gonna be honest with you. Most of it I hadn't heard about. That's why I like it when you come and do these reports. I will say congratulations on you getting HB 404 passed in your son's memory. That is totally awesome. I think it's going to help a lot of people. I do want to comment on the HB 97. I do want to learn more of that because you know, there are more kids with autism. And I have 2 grandsons, they're twins, and they're both autistic on the high end of the spectrum. And that is something to deal with. You know, I don't really refer to both of them as having or being autistic. I kind of tell them they have superpowers. But we do need more funding for that. So I am glad to hear about the programs for that as well. And anybody on in the meeting right now, if you have any questions for any of the delegates, you know, feel free to raise your hand and ask those questions, or if you need information or something like that, because that's why they come to our meetings, so that they can brief us on what's been going on. And, you know, congratulations on anything that you're doing for the crime prevention and reentry program, all of those, and, you know, the daycare, you know, for young adults, and, you know, the housing. Those are critical issues in the county. So great job on all of that. And on behalf of myself and the board, I know we all appreciate the jobs that y'all do. Yeah, I just felt like I just watched the news. But anyway, it was great hearing all of that. And I just want to say how much I appreciate you guys fighting for things that and issues that are personal and close to everyone here on this call. So keep up the good work. Please send our thanks to Senator Muse, since he couldn't be here, but you know, we always love to see your beautiful face. But I guess I just can't thank you enough, because that's a lot. That's just a lot. And I don't think some of the county residents realize how much is going on and how much of services that we need in this county. So thank you. Hi, Miss Wilson, you finally got on? Yeah, I think she did. Okay, so with that, I am going to turn it over to Miss Hope Streeter, so that she can bring her report from the county executive's office, and they too do a lot. We just probably need to put all you women in just one office and just and we can just have a newsroom there. But it's on. You can take it away, Miss Hope Streeter.
All right. Well, thank you so very much. It is really about collaboration and partnership. And that's why not only what the state delegation does and do on a regular basis, but it's also working in collaboration with the county executive as well. So thank you, particularly to the state delegation that is represented here with LDC. We thank you so very much for all that you continue to do. And a special salute to Delegate Woods, the work that you've done in honor of your son. Personally and professionally, you know, it means a lot as well. County executive sent a press release out on Monday and announced that her administration had secured $198 million in state funding during the 2024 state legislation session. But again, this was not done alone. It was done exceptionally in collaboration with our exceptional partners, those who I've mentioned here, and our state delegation as well. It's happy to hear that so many of the information that was also shared in the press release that the state delegation, you all shared also. So I will not repeat those, but I do want to bring a few items to point of reference. This week is Black Maternal Health Week. And as it relates to that, $19 million was set aside for healthcare funding as it relates to Luminous Health Women's Health Tower to expand maternity services and women's health facilities. We know the plight for Black women, it is strong, and we want to make sure we're putting our support behind that as well. $2.9 million for the Greater Dayton Medical Clinic and $1.5 million for the CCI Health Services. I will also share $1.4 million to modernize the Luminous Health Emergency Department. As many of you all have heard in the news, there are various challenges with the ER department. So again, money has been set aside for this as well. And $1 million for MedStar Southern Maryland ICU and bed expansion. The one item that I will share again as a friendly reminder, we are excited, particularly in our department as well, is that the major investment to secure $3.1 million to help revitalize the Rose Cross Raceway. As some of you all may or may not know, Ms. Sheila Curry, who serves in our department, serves as the chair of the Maryland Horse Industry Board. She is the first woman and the first person of color to serve on that commission. So we're very excited. And the reason why she's not here tonight, she is at a horse industry meeting as well. So there has been much investment as it relates to health and climate equity, economic and social investments as well. And we're just excited to continue to do the partnership and collaboration with the state delegation, because most importantly, we want to make sure we serve the residents of Prince George's County from a holistic standpoint, that everyone is able to receive what they are in need of and the funding that is available to do so. So we're very happy with that. So thank you very much. And lastly, to announce that we will be announcing our community partnership grant awardees next month. So we had over 200 plus that applied for the community partnership grant. And it's only $2.5 million that we have available, with a request almost $14 million in requested funds. So it has been quite a labor of love. And just to know there are so many nonprofits that are doing the work, and we want to continue to help support them. And as well as many of the nonprofits, If you want to continue to stay connected with our office strategic partnerships, Letitia will put in an email address that to stay connected with us. And we also have a Facebook page as well, so we can share that information. Thank you so very much, Dr. Lattimore, for allowing us to share that information today.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Thank you. And as Mrs. Holt Streeter said, please feel free to reach out to Letitia. She is on this call, and to Ms. Holt Streeter or Ms. Curry. They all work in the same office. If you need any of the information that she spoke about tonight, they partner with the LDC, and pretty much they give me a lot of guidance. So I appreciate them as well. So we're going to move on to the grant process, and I'm going to turn that over to Kanika Bynum. As you all know, the LDC members, we have a grant process. Applications will be coming soon, based on the timeline. It's, we're supposed to get them on the 19th, and I'll let Kanika go into a little bit more detail. But as I stated last time, we're going to need at least 6 to 8 people to review the applications and rate them. And to set that up, I think on the 24th of this month, which is next Wednesday, I am going to work with Letitia and try to set up a meeting with those interested in serving on the grants committee. I know we already had about 3 or 4 people, and Letitia has those names, but if we don't get volunteers, I'm just going to start asking and assigning people to help, because we have a short timeline, and we really need to get this done, and we will really appreciate your help. So with that, I am going to turn it over to Kanika. Kanika, we can't hear.
Oh, sorry. Thought I had clicked it. I don't have much of an update. Altogether, I actually just pulled up the tracker. Altogether, there were about 73 applications that were
Wow.
submitted. And we're going through which ones are complete and incomplete. We are very close to being finished and having that double reviewed within the OMB office. But it looks like somewhere around the 30 to 40 range are going to be complete. So that'll be the number of applications that will be brought to the LDC committee for your review. And then I believe the date for that kind of finishing a review will be June 7th.
So out of 73, you think we'll only get 30?
About 30 to 40. I think it's closer to 40.
Out of 73?
Right. So, and that's all of the applicants that would have submitted all of the documents that they needed to submit in order to, meet the standards that the application requires.
Wow.
And that's kind of always the case that, anytime there's an application process, that a number of applicants just kind of won't submit all the proper documentation.
Yeah, that's the lowest we've had in the last 2 to 3 years.
The lowest
applications that we've rated. 'Cause how many did we have last year? I think we had like 40 something.
I think it was somewhere around that number. Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, that's fine. We appreciate it. We'll be waiting on them. It's unfortunate that all 73 didn't have everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll be waiting on them, and I'm going to meet with those who are going to serve on a committee and go through the rating sheet, and assign a team lead to help with the grant oversight, and just show them how we rate and what they're supposed to look for. So even if you don't get them to us on Friday, I can't meet with them until next Wednesday, and I'm going to reach out to Letitia and see if she can kind of assist me with that, with a link and everything, or I'll just do the link on my own. So we appreciate the hard work that you're doing to get those applications ready. And the final reports, we will get those on the 31st of July for the applications that are out now, correct?
Right, that final report is due July 31st. I think most of the mid-years are in, but we can double check that. But the final report's due July 31st for last year's awardees.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Does anybody
you.
have any questions for any of the delegates or Kanika? Or anything we've talked about thus far? I just want to pause. I don't want you guys to forget anything. Don't be shy. Please feel free to raise your hand and ask a question. Okay, seeing none, we'll just move on. So the next thing that I wanted to talk to everyone about, or just bring to everyone's attention, I'm sorry, go ahead, Kanika.
Oh, I think well, she's next to me on my screen, but Miss
Okay.
but
I had a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. There you go. I'm
Uh,
sorry, Ebony.
no problem. Um, for those folks who will be requesting or who filled out applications this year, but maybe did not submit their mid-year report, would that impact them being able to get approved for the next amount of funding if they didn't submit a mid-year report?
I mean, on the staff side, that's some information that we could provide to the LDC, but the LDC kind of makes that decision if they and I can let Dr. Lattimore speak to that.
Right. And, you know, the mid-year report is crucial. So if they don't submit those mid-year reports, you know, if they don't have, you know, like they just forgot or something like that, they need to communicate with the LDC. But if you just don't do it because you just don't do it, yeah, we're one of the things that we talked about last year is that recipient of 5013 will not be receiving any future funds because the process is laid out at the beginning when we give out the money, and it's talked about in the application process, and Kanika talks about it when she does the training. So more than likely, no, we won't be looking at that application again because it's so many people fighting for these funds. So I hope you understand.
Yeah, thank you for that.
You're welcome. Okay, so I was going to talk about the community needs assessment. The LDC is one avenue or communication where we have people from the community that attend our meetings. And we would like to, on behalf of the LDC and all of the delegates, we need to hear from some of the community representatives. What do you need in your community? What is it that you would like to see changed in your community? I know that in my district, Council Member Burrows, he does a lot of outreach and, you know, he gets around and he talks to a lot of people. But we here at the LDC just want to take the time and just ask those who visit with us, even the members on this committee. If you have anything in the community that in your community that you think you need or you want to report back to the delegates, please feel free to share on this call. It may be something as simple as, you know, you need better traffic patterns or, you know, drug activity, anything. Because one of the things that I think is important in the county is communication. And a lot of times people don't necessarily always know where to go communicate that at. We have these delegates sitting here, we have members from the community, and we have members on the LDC. You know, we're all a link to help everyone. So each time we meet, if there is a need in your community or in someone else's community, we would just like to ask that you guys bring that forward. We may not be able to solve everyone's problem, but at least we can put it on somebody's radar so that they can help solve that problem. So at this time, with some of our community guests, I would like for you to introduce yourself. Do we have any? I know we had Henry Harris.
Hello.
Hello,
Hi,
Mr.
can you hear?
Harris. Since we have the whole LDC committee here and the delegates, I wanted you and the other community, Raja Rose, to introduce yourselves and your company.
Yes. Once again, my name is Henry Harris. I am the Executive Director of Strategic Music Partnership. And what we do is help artists to create quality content that inspires the music arts. In our community, there are pockets of places where the arts occur, and some some of the arts are limited to like the Southern Recreation Center and play, or either Harmony Hall and places like that, where they only bring in a certain type of programming all the time, and most of the time those events are sold out. So for the up and coming artists in our district, like District 26 and Councilmatic District 28, there needs to be opportunities for those up and coming artists so they don't have to go outside of the district or even participate down at National Harbor. A lot of times when they seek out to participate at the National Harbor, those events are taken, or they bring in other outside people outside of the district from other places. So I just think that for the art, the reference to the art and the work that we do, and then we also go out to nursing homes and do concerts and stuff for those people who are in those nursing homes that can't get out to events and stuff like that. But I just think we need more of the art so that some of the, like, you know, how we have pockets of shopping centers, like they redid the shopping center down on Livingston Road, down where the Giant is. That's an enclave unto itself. So in order to get to the next shopping center or the next place where there could be more arts type activities, got to go through these rural roads and so forth. So I think if we had more walking, more arts connected type entities and opportunities that actually open up for up and coming artists like who we serve to do different things down at National Harbor. And I just wanted to throw that out to see if, you know, what your thoughts were in reference to that.
I think that that is great. Thank you for sharing. I think we have do we have a member on here? I thought that's either at the MGM or the National Harbor. Letitia?
Yes, Mr. Ernest Lewis is here to represent MGM.
Hi, Mr. Lewis. Do you think that you could speak on that or direct Mr. Harris in the right direction?
Good evening, Ms. Lattimore. Definitely I can support in directing him in the right direction to have that conversation so that he can get the information that he's looking for. If he can provide me with the information in the chat, his information, or I can provide mine, and then I can provide him with what he needs and what he's looking for.
No problem. I appreciate that. And nice to meet you, Mr. Lewis. I can put that in the chat as well. And I just wanted to mention one other quick thing from our organization perspective. We are working on a low power FM radio station to be in the center of Fort Washington. So we expect some great things to come out of that program. But nice to meet you, Mr. Lewis.
You as well, Mr. Harris. Thank you.
Great. Thank you both. Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Now, Raja Rose, would you like to come off from mute and introduce yourself to the committee and give us some background about your company?
Yes, my name is Raja Rose. I'm the business development manager for my family's landscaping firm. We're Artistic Landscaping Services. Our home is in Atlanta, Maryland, but we service the DC metropolitan area, Virginia, all the way out to probably the Bay Bridge, and so front. Specialize in commercial and HOA landscaping and hardscaping services. I'm a resident of Prince George's County for a long time. Coincidentally, I'm also been in the fire service for 23 years as a volunteer firefighter, currently holding a position as Deputy Fire Chief of the Laurel Volunteer Rescue Squad. So I'm well versed and well connected throughout the county. So I was just trying to just be a fly on the wall, see what you guys do, and see if there's anything we can do as far as networking and partnering with you guys to help further your endeavors.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for your service with the fire department. And feel free to join us, whenever you need. And there's a wealth of information here. So we have also Preston Ross. He is with he's on here. He's with Council Member Burrows' office. So anytime we can be of help, or if you have any questions, please let us know. And thank you for coming out and joining us tonight at our meeting.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, are there any more community members on the line? Okay. All right, so with that in mind, I'm going to turn it over to Preston Ross. He's going to give us a report on anything that's going on in Council Member Burrows' office. And one of the things that the council member wants to do is have a dinner or a lunch. So I asked Preston to set that up and kind of work with Letitia to have dinner with the council members or lunch. So I'll turn it over to you, Preston. Thank you for coming.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me and my colleague Zara Isaacs, who's also on the phone right now. So you can beat me with a stick. The planning of the dinner has squarely fallen on me and my lack of pushing it forward. But I spoke with the council member who unfortunately cannot be here tonight. He is in California having a really fun business trip right now. But he's like, "Where's my dinner with the LDC?" And I was like, "Oh, that is my bad, but we will get that up and running." He is very excited to have that. And we will, I think, just the way that the calendar's falling, I think that will be something more in May to look forward to, but we will definitely get that up and running because that is something very important to the council member. Just to give you guys a few updates as far as initiatives, I actually did want to talk about something. I know that the camera mailer or the camera security camera program has been.
That's just wonderful.
I wanted to talk
I've
about
gotten like 3 people cameras in my development. Please tell us all about that because there's some people on here that really doesn't know. And I did not know, I didn't mean to interrupt you, that townhouses were not qualified for that. They were kind of upset, but appreciate it.
So in dedication, in partnership with Jones House, we have created a free security camera program through the Office of Councilman Burrows in recognition of Jazz Agnew, who was shot in the middle of his front yard. There was the culprit is at large, and police say that had there been security cameras and on the street in the neighborhood, they could have, pinpointed who that is. And so, it's no secret in PG County, there's been a rise in, violent crime. And so to, alleviate that, we've created this program.
Sit down. Sit down.
We have about, did you want to add something to that? Oh, okay. So the program is we had some money granted from the LDC to help us push this forward to have 1,000 cameras that were bought and purchased through Jones House. And then Jones House is on a first come first some basis pushing these cameras out and installing them to homes within the district who are able to have, free access to security cameras to keep them safe. I wanted to say that because I know that this has been like a really big deal. I know that our office specifically has been getting a lot of calls. I know that I've been on some back and forth emails with Dr. Lattimore with people that she personally knows who are trying to get them. And I want to make this statement of that. We sent a mailer out to 18,000 people, and that's how the word is like really known. We were very clear in the mailer that there's only 1,000 cameras, and just so that you guys are aware, that Jones House only has 4 installers who are installing these like one house at a time, or maybe 4 at a time. And so I know that there has been some concerns about people who might have applied like 2, 3 months ago and haven't heard anything and curious as to what's going on. And I assure you that they are recorded and that they are just slowly going through the process. However, our office has reached out with Jones House talking about we have to create a better system of communication so that people who do apply know, one, that they are in the system, and two, giving them some accurate timing of what's going on. However, with the success of this program, I think there's talks about potentially expanding this over, because I know this has been such an important program to people within our community. And so we just ask that everyone bears with us and gives Jones House and our office a little grace. We are still taking things concerned. So if you do know people who are trying to get these security cameras and that they need to, figure out what's going on, you can continue to send them our way and we will assure them that they are not lost in the program, but just give us a little grace as we are trying to navigate this uptick of everybody wanting these cameras. That's one program. An up and coming program that I'm sure my colleague Zara has been in contact with some of you on the LDC is that we are having the in coordination and in partnership with the Boris Henson Foundation and Taraji P. Henson, we are having a mental health awareness month. That's for the initiative for the month of May. The council member is creating joy zones. These are opportunities for people within our community to come and talk about mental health awareness, get resources as free counseling services, and amongst a whole bunch of other things. People who attend these joy zones will have the opportunity to have free tickets to attend the Can We Talk Symposium that will be at the Gaylord on May 30th through 31st. It's going to be really cool. There's a whole bunch of people, like I've been, if you follow on their social media. And Zara, if you can put the link to the to Boris Henson and the Can We Talk Symposium in the chat, I'd appreciate that.
Sure.
There you'll see it's a whole bunch of really great speakers diving into just a whole bunch of important topics that come with mental health. And sometimes in the Black community, we don't really want to talk about mental health, or it's shunned away. And this symposium is really diving into breaking those barriers. Amongst those other initiatives, we are doing a 988 campaign for the new hotline with the schools within our district, which is Friendly High School, Oxon Hill High School, and what's the last one, Zara?
Is it Crossland?
Yeah,
Crossland.
it's
Yeah.
Crossland.
Crossland, and they're having, Zara's doing a whole bunch of really great work, working with the counselors within each of those schools to do a campaign to kind of raise awareness of the hotline. And so sorry about that. And each school is going to get an award up to $7,500 from our office for participating. And there will be select students from each school who will be able to attend the 988 campaign, attend the Can We Talk Symposium, and have an opportunity to show their project to Taraji P. Henson and do pictures. And so we're really excited about that. And then lastly, with mental health campaign, we are doing what is it, Zara? I want to say this correctly.
Mental health first aid certification training.
And so we're doing that. We're getting a whole bunch of, it's a 6-hour course. We're getting a whole bunch of people within the high schools to come to Friendly High School, I believe, to get certified in that, because, I was reading a statistic, me and the council member, there is 20% of, according to the Prince George's County Department of Health, there's nearly 20% of high school students who have contemplated suicide. That is crazy. And I don't know if that is just a specific metric that's so high within Prince George's County, or if that's just a generational thing. But we are really disturbed about that. And we're hoping to train up our youth who are dealing with this, so that if they're seeing the signs of people who are struggling with this, that they can lean on each other and be help towards one another. Another thing that we are working on, we are, as we talked about, the jobs and apprenticeship year-long program. We are, and actually, I'm coming with an ask. Like we are. This is something that the councilman is really, really passionate about. He really wants to give people in high school and young adults the opportunity to get skills, job skills, apprenticeship skills, to really get them ahead in our market, because we're just seeing, sometimes that our kids in our community are being outpaced by the need, and that if we are a wealthy county and we should have the resources to give them the training that they need. He envisions that we partner with different the National Harbor, partner with the FBI, the new FBI building coming in, the Bureau, amongst other businesses within our district, to allow students and young adults to come work there maybe 3, 4, 5 hours a week over a year, to gain experience, to have to bolster their resume, to learn a trade and skill, so that they will be competitive in the job market, where the county would pay for that, so that the burden isn't on businesses. And so this is a really big and expensive idea that the council member wants, and he knows that it's going to take a lot of coordination, a lot of legislative action to help, and he is wanting to coalesce the community to come together to figure out how we can do that. And so we are actually going to be launching a community task force to kind of help us coordinate this. And so Dr. Lattimore, I will definitely put this in an email to you, because I know you were kind of one of the
Yeah,
people
I want
that
to be on the task force.
spearheaded us there. And just, anybody who is interested in this and helping us, no, we ain't gonna work you, we will do the legwork, but just, having some guidance and some advisory on how we should pursue this and kind of push forward, we would really like the help. And so we're gonna have an official launch of like this task force, and putting the word out into the community and asking for people to partner with us in June. We'll do something big around that. But I just want to give you guys kind of the first little, sneak peek of what we're planning and how we're trying to launch this. We have an anticipated launch date of like January of 2025. And so we're trying to, for the remainder of this year, get all the vehicles in place to have that move forward. And then Zara, am I missing anything else? I think,
Scholarship program, just very
oh,
briefly. We officially launched our scholarship program last month that we're doing in partnership with Jones House. It's another partnership that we have with Jones House. So it's going to be $10,000 scholarships that we're offering, and also a number of $2,500 scholarships that we're offering. So I believe we sent a mailer out for that. We also sent a newsletter out. I'm gonna link the Jones House. I'm gonna link to the webpage for the scholarship application, but it is a countywide scholarship. So any resident in Prince George's County that is needs assistance for a post-secondary education. So that could be a college or a university. It could also be a trade program, some sort of post-secondary program. They can apply for this scholarship. The deadline is May 31st. So
so
I'm gonna,
yes.
yeah.
Please, please, please pass it along amongst, if you think about it, there's so much money that we're giving these kids in our district. I'm very excited. Like, they can go to school for free amongst all these scholarships. So Zara will put that in the chat. And so please, along with the other scholarships, just keep passing them all out so we can get these kids free schooling. And that's about it for the good of the order right now. Oh, actually, one last thing. And about that symposium, Zara should be reaching out to people specifically on this body about being able to attend the symposium. Check it out, guys. It's like super cool. Anyone who is interested in attending, also reach out to Zara. Zara, can you put your email address in the chat as well? if you're interested in attending, just let us know. We have plenty of tickets to go for free to attend the symposium. And I feel like there's opportunity to meet and talk with Taraji P. Henson as well. And so just reach out to Zara and we will coordinate that on our end. And I will be sure by the next meeting, the dinner will already have happened, or we will be going to the dinner by the next LDC meeting. So thank you very much. And I will yield back to Dr. Lattimore.
Well, thank you. We can just have dinner with Taraji P. Henson and we'll just do everything at one time.
Yes.
Mr. Harris, I think that's that may, a partnership with what you're doing, with what your company does. You may want to partner with them to have one of the kids when we're looking at the apprenticeship type program. Where did Preston go?
Yes, I will. Thank you.
Still here.
Oh, okay. There he goes. Okay, so yeah, that was great, Preston. And yeah, I called him on a Sunday because I was like, I have an idea. We need to go back to the old school apprenticeship program. So I think one of the suggestions that I would make is I have a granddaughter that's in Townsend and she's studying law. So I think that some of these college students can pair up maybe with Aisha Brave Boy's office, the courts, things like that, recidivism, like, reentering with Delegate Woods, things like that. So it's so much out here, and the hospital to get training on x-ray technicians and things like that. So we can go out and ask all of those people. And I think it's great that, if you just kind of put together maybe a trade meeting or something and invite people to, I'm sure you'll get an overwhelming amount of support, because anything that we could do, because college is not for everybody. And I found that out the hard way by sending one of mine to college and he never went to class. So anyway, as parents, we go through that, but he succeeded in a trade. And he's doing very well. So I applaud everything that you guys are doing. I had that on the agenda to speak to, but I appreciate you doing that for me. And yeah, I'll look forward to serving on the task force.
Thank you so much. And I will follow up with kind of our executive summary in an email to you, just kind of see like what we have kind of planned so far. And we would love for you to give us some critiques and some advisement on how to push it, because we are very much at the planning stage, and so we are trying to see what works. And so any thought partnership that we can take, we would very much appreciate it.
And definitely the MGM. So many opportunities there. So I'm sure Mr. Lewis will be on that list as well. Well, thank you anyway, and thank you for the Jay-Z Agnew program. I try to get as many people to get the cameras, not because they're free, but because we don't want that to happen to another child. And every time I think about that, I really feel bad for his parents, just being out there raking leaves and you just get killed. So on behalf of that little boy is why I try to push the program so much in memory of him. But thank y'all for the work that you're doing on that as well. Does anybody have any questions for Preston? Okay, thank you so much, Preston. And we look forward to having dinner with Taraji P. Henson. Just keep us informed.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Items for discussion for May 2024. So on behalf of the LDC, one of the please excuse my dog if I don't strangle her. One of the items that I want us to kind of think about for May 2024 agenda is what type of programs can we ask Council Member Burrows to try to put in place in 2025? What programs do you think the county needs for these kids to go to school, something that they would be interested in, HVAC, electricians, you know, some of these companies that, you know, have these HVAC and electricians, you know, we can have some of these children, I'm not children, but young adults, get into those type of trades and things like that. So that's one thing that I want us to come back and have a list of the next time we meet in May. Is there anything else that the LDC members would like to discuss or have questions about?
Dr. Lattimore, I wanted to just ask you, did you want to still bring up a little bit more about the needs assessment, forming a committee to do the legwork of that what you mentioned earlier in terms of getting more information from the community about what their needs are?
Yes, thank you. Just 1 second. One thing that we do need is we do need a needs assessment committee. So if you are interested in being on that committee, we need between 3 and 4 to 5 people. Please send Letitia your name and email address. And we need one person to kind of be the team lead to lead that team. So we can have that in place as well. And hopefully we'll get people on here from, you know, different areas within District 8. So yeah, we can have that committee, try to set that committee up by May as well.
And just so there's a little bit more background, again, I know you probably will speak more to this once the committee is formed, but that committee would be to not only develop the questionnaire or assessment for the committee, for the community, but also distribute and read over the data analysis that has come back from the community, and then use that information to determine if you as a council would want to change the categories on the portal for your grant so they match the needs of the community based on your assessment and data collected. Dr. Lattimore, please chime in to give either more or correct me. You're on mute.
I'm sorry, you say give you the more?
I said, could you chime in and let them know if there's any more, or correct me if I said anything incorrect?
No, you're correct. I think from a county standpoint, it's more so of what is in your neighborhood, what is missing in your community. Do we need more programs such as tutoring? Do we need more programs such as what can we do to keep young adults busy so that they're not doing other things? Just from a needs perspective, we want this committee to kind of go out and just kind of do some research, you know, talk to young adults, ask them what is it that they feel that they need that the county is not supplying them with. So no, that's about it. So we need to get a committee going for that. And I think between the committee and the applications, we will all be employed on this this board here. Okay. So Ms. Holt Streeter, do you have anything further?
No, ma'am, I don't. This has been a very informative and educational meeting. I think everyone has walked away with nuggets of information. So thank you so very much.
Thank you. Also, I wanted to ask Delegate Woods, is it any way that I could get some information on HB 97?
Absolutely, positively. I can send it to you. You put your email in there, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yes, I'm happy to send the information to you. HB 97.
And that is the one on autism, correct?
Well, it's not on, I think HB 97 is on the toxic baby food.
Yeah, that's what I want, the toxic baby food, because
yeah.
I do want to share that.
Yes, okay.
You know, when we were coming up, when I was coming up and I graduated from Largo in 76, they used the acronym mental retardation, which
Mhm.
I think autism has replaced that,
No,
unfortunately.
that's not correct. That's not
It
correct.
hasn't.
No, autism and mental retardation were never the same thing. Although you're correct in that we no longer use the term mental retardation, but autism and mental retardation were never the same thing. Let me see if I can, hold on. I'm gonna try to tell you what
But I do agree with you. More and more kids in the school system are being labeled and tested as autistic.
yeah,
And,
mental retardation is now called intellectual disability.
okay, that's what they call it. Okay.
Right. And then autism, they had something that they called Asperger's disease, and that was for
Yes,
people who were
yes.
autistic that were high functioning. And we no longer use the term Asperger's disease.
Asperger's.
Right, Asperger's. But no, autism and mental retardation were not the same. But you are absolutely correct. We have seen an unbelievable increase in
Yes.
children with autism. It is horrendously unbelievable. And so, like I said, this is me speaking. I want to make sure everybody's clear that it's Jamila speaking, that I really believe that it has a lot to do with that heavy metals that was in the baby food that people had no idea. Toxic heavy metals were being included in baby food. And
Wow.
I just believe, and thank you, Mr. Harris. I'll make sure you get that information too. But I just believe that it has a lot to do with those heavy metals that are in our baby food. That's, I mean, to me, that should almost be criminal to know that that has been taking place.
Okay. Well, yeah, I would like to get that and read a little bit more on that. So I appreciate it. And yeah, we did get a wealth of information here tonight. So with that said, just to reiterate, with the LDC committee, I am going to work with Letitia to set up the committee, the needs committee. So we need at least 4 to 5 people on that. And we've gotten some names thus far for the grants committee. And I will be sending out an email invite to those committee members for the 24th. I think it is. Yes, that's next Wednesday. So that I can kind of give you guys an overview of how to rate those applications and to just walk you through what the process is so that we can start writing, getting those done. Because I know the weather's getting great. Everyone's not going to want to sit in the house and rate applications, but this is something that we have to do to support our 501c3s. So with that said, is there any more questions, comments, or concerns? Hi, Miss Wilson.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm great, thank you.
Good.
Did you have a question or a comment? Where'd she go? I don't see her anymore. Okay. All right. So
I have a question.
Okay.
Is there a way that everybody who is on this call today, like that we can be sent an email with everybody who is on this call? So that I think, because I see there's like a whole bunch of emails going back and forth in this chat. And I think it could just be easier for me. And I think everybody on this call to just like send everything that we were talking about to the people who attended this call. Because I don't want to miss everybody.
Letitia?
That's your call, Dr. Lattimore.
Yeah, that's fine. The key is communication.
And is
So
it okay? I mean, this is the call of the council, but is everyone on this call comfortable with their information their email account being shared? Because I can do one reply all with everybody's email.
yeah, so does anybody have any objections in sharing your email and your name and your information? If you do, please raise your hand. Seeing none, we're good.
Thank you.
And if you need help with that, Letitia, I can help you with that.
No, it's okay. I'm just gonna create one email based off the registration from today. So everyone who registered for the meeting today will receive a reply all, and that way everyone will have everyone's contact information automatically. And maybe I'll reply all with the recording, so that way you also have the recording. And I will save the chat as well and put the chat in there as well. So that way you have everyone's information, the chat, and the recording.
Okay.
Thank you so much for that. That would be so helpful.
Thank
My
you,
pleasure.
Letitia.
My pleasure.
All right, so if there are no further questions or comments, we appreciate, you know, all the information being brought forward tonight. And with that in mind, I am going to ask that the meeting be adjourned. Can I get a second?
Second.
One last thing. Sorry, Dr. Delegate Turner. I know y'all all ready to go. It's past 8:30. Dr. Lattimore, this is our first time having minutes. How do you want to handle minutes? Are you going to include it in the agenda as an approval by the committee? Or
Yeah, we could talk about that offline. I will give you a call tomorrow.
Okay, so the ones that were attached, we know are not approved. I just want that for the record.
Okay, so I understand what you're asking for. So next meeting, maybe we'll have to approve March's minutes and April's. You there, Letitia?
Yes, okay, no, that's
Okay.
fine. I just wanted, again, I just know that they're attached. So I
Okay,
wanted that
maybe we
information.
need to put that on the agenda next time too.
Yes, ma'am.
Approval of minutes. So I'll take the hit for that one. But I will reach out to you tomorrow as far as the minutes are concerned.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Okay, and thank you for doing the minutes too, Letitia. You know, one way that we could do that also is when we do the mass email, we could attach the minutes, and if anybody has any corrections to the minutes, they can tell us, and you can give them a certain date. And if you don't hear from hear from anyone with any corrections, then we can just, go ahead on and vote on them at the next May meeting. We'll just vote for March and April's.
Yes, ma'am, that's fine. However you guys decide to proceed is fine. They have been attached to all of the reminders. So if the council wants to look over it between now and the next meeting, and then you guys can vote on it the next meeting.
Okay, we'll do that.
Thank you.
Okay, you sound so tired. We're gonna let you go.
It's okay, thank you.
All right, so thank you again. I hereby move that the LDC meeting for the month of April be adjourned. Can I get a second?
Can I ask a question real quick? We are having a meeting in June, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so June the 19th is a kind of a holiday that we voted on in Annapolis. I mean, Juneteenth.
Is that on the 10th or is that on the
It's
19th?
on the 19th. It's on the it's on the third Wednesday in June.
Okay, so let me get back to everyone on that one, and maybe we'll have to move it to another day.
Okay.
Because I'm not gonna, yeah, I understand. So I'll work on that as well.
Okay, thank you.
You're quite welcome. Any more questions?
No.
Second the motion.
Okay, somebody second that one real quick. Okay. Is there any discussion? If
So
not,
moved.
so moved. Thank you so much. The meeting is hereby adjourned and it is 8:37 p.m. Everybody be safe. Thank you for attending, and I look forward to seeing everyone next month.
Have a good
Right.
evening.
All right, have a good evening. Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Good night.